Hey, it's a software engineering student here, and today I'm going to talk about how to writing and reading to files. So last time we talked about how to creating files. So first let's just create a file. So we would do file and would import file. So file, my file equals new file, and we would give it a path name. So we would just give the path name inside our source folder. So we'll just give it a name. And I'll just call it my file.txt to tell it is a text document. So how we're actually going to create a file is we are going to do my file.create new file. And if you remember back, we actually need to surround it with a try and a catch block. So if any exception happen, we would just call an exception and print this stack trace. So let's run the program. And we get a myfile.txt inside our source folder. So what we would actually like to do next is actually be able to writing something to the file. And we can do it by creating something called a FileWriter. So we do FileWriter. FileWriter equals a new FileWriter, and we would give it a parameter of the file we'll be writing to. So parameter my file. And we would need to actually use a try and catch block again with the exceptions. Or what you can actually do, which I'll be doing now, is you can actually do an exception, throw an exception at the method signature, which means we can actually just throws IO exception, which means if anything inside this method, because this is a method, public static void main is just a method, if any IO exception is thrown inside this method, we would just print the stack trace and keep going. So now we can actually just remove all of this because we already throw an IO exception for the entire method block. So we actually don't need this try catch block anymore. So now we have a file writer that we're writing to our file, my file, which contains the path name myfile.txt. But I will just stop this from running again because we had the file already. So this is a comment. And I will just do file writer.write. And I will just do hello world on the first line. And I would do file writer.write dot something else. And what you need to always remember is actually to close the file writer. Because when we start writing to a file, we need to tell it when we're done writing. Otherwise, it would be pretty confused because it thinks something else is coming. So we'll do file writer dot close. So now, if you run the program, go look inside our my file text, we get hello world first, and then something else. But what I actually would like to get is something else on a new line. So I would just add like this. We go like opposite dash and then an N. So now if we write again, we actually override what's inside our my file. So every time we write to a file, it would overwrite it. So we don't add to the file, we actually overwrite the file. So we do hello world plus create a new line, and then we do something else. So inside our file, we have two lines containing hello world and something else. So now, if we wanted to get something out of the file, we would need a scanner object, which we've been talking about in a few episodes ago. So I would do scanner equals new scanner. And instead of telling it system.in, it's like getting input from the console, we would do my file. So we're getting input from our file. And then we would just simply creating a while loop. So while scanner.has next line, we would simply do create a string, which is equal to scanner dot next line, and we would just print the string to the screen. There we go. So now, when we run the program, it's first gonna overwrite the file, adding hello world and something else. Then it would access the file by using the scanner object, which accesses through this one. Then we go through a while loop going scanner.has next line. So for each line, we would first look at the first line, take it, keep it in the variable string, then print it to our console. Let's run again to demonstrate. There we go. Hello world. Go back to a file, next line, print next line, no more lines, stop. So this is the basics of creating a file, writing to a file, and reading from a file. Hope you enjoyed and learned at least something. Leave a like and subscribe, and have a wonderful day.